Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Morning Metaphysical Report. Today is December 19th, 2019. It's good to see you all, and thanks for joining me. My name is Lysander Xanthus. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you some helpful information that you can use if you like to have a positive day ahead. I'll be sharing with you the day's numerology, astrology, a card reading of the day, and some inspirational reading, and more. I like to start the day with a little energy clearing and a blessing. It's alright. That sound is just the heater. So I'm going to be using this selenite to...
Sorry, I'm going to take a minute.
It's okay. To clear your energy. Just gently, very gently. This crystal has healing and primarily peaceful energy. So I'm going to do a very gentle sweep. Just breathe and allow yourself to let go. And now for the blessing of the day.
The crystal. I was waiting for you to settle so I could set this down.
Oh my goodness.
I'll look up the facts on that one for you because it's 3 different things.
Thank you. I just brought our crystal we'll be working with later. But now I will be sending you a blessing for the day. I bless you that you may find greater love for yourself today. I bless you on your journey. I bless your day today, that it may be full of good experiences and success. And just a little luckier today. Great. Now let's talk about the astrology. So, the Sun and Mercury are in Sagittarius. So what is being emphasized is our perspective expanding. In a few days, the Sun is going to be moving into Capricorn. So that we're coming to the end of this time of looking a little wider than we have been. That with Mercury here, this does put emphasis on that expansion occurring in the way that we think, the way we communicate with others, and how we express ourselves. Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, and Pluto are in Capricorn still. Altogether, these highlight your romantic relationships, your family relationships, your home life, the structures you've built into your life, your opportunities, and your personal growth. And it's if we are feeling, it's highlighting our responsibility in these areas and how we choose to lead these parts of our lives. So if you're feeling trapped or limited in any way, the key to liberation is to understand and accept how your choices have led you to your present position, and to know that likewise you can lead yourself out and into something that you do want, and that the other people or situations won't change on their own. It's up to us to be independent and to make those changes. Just saw my cat doing something. Mars is in Scorpio, so this is giving us a push of initiative by connecting us very strongly to our true feelings about situations and relationships, and making it very difficult for us to ignore them. Neptune is in Pisces, so we have our own inner knowledge and knowing rising to consciousness, and it's up to us how or if we'd like to use that information. Uranus is in Taurus in retrograde, so we are continuing to be in a time of reassessing our comfort zone and the way we have been, and deciding if that's the way we have been going forward is the way that we want to keep going, and if we want that to really take root into our consciousness. Finally, the moon is waning in Virgo, so our attention is turning inward slowly. And with Virgo, we may be feeling a greater need for feeling like we are part of something bigger or serving a greater purpose, that we are helpful to others. We may feel a desire for more structure, or like we really need things to be the way that we want them, and when they're not, we can feel very frazzled. So it's just good to be aware of that, so you can take care of yourself if you are feeling like that's true for you right now. That is the astrology for today. So now we will talk about today's numerology, which is also on the screen. Today is a 1 day. And a 1 vibration denotes independence, self-motivation, and a need to be in charge. Obviously, as you can see, the points on screen are: be independent, try new ideas, and embrace your personal power. 1 is a leadership number. The 19th of the month. On this 1 day, be independent. Do what you want to do. Go to unfamiliar places. Meet innovative people. Try out new ideas. This is a good day for a job interview, especially one involving a leadership position. To relieve stress, make an effort to get some exercise. Trust yourself and your intuition. Be original, creative, and ambitious. Don't let anger or impatience sabotage your efforts. This is a day to embrace your personal power. So yes, that is today's numerology. We have now come to the part where we participate in a little crystal healing, and I have today's crystal here with me. It is very large. I'm going to be telling you about what this is in just a moment, but this is today's crystal. I know that it is mostly quartz. I did. I'm going to be reading them in a moment. I'm just showing the crystal. Alright. So, I'm going to tell you about the questions, and I do see, or the crystal, and I do see we have a question, but I'll get to that just a second. Wow, all these things are in there. Okay, so there is quartz. Quartz is the most powerful healing stone in the mineral kingdom, able to work on any condition. Clear quartz is known as the stone of power and amplifies any energy or intention. Clear quartz protects against negativity, attunes to your higher self, and relieves pain. This crystal also contains jasper. Jasper, a stone of physical strength and energy. Jasper stimulates gently and steadily, enhancing stamina and endurance, and increasing the amount of chi or life force in one's aura. It is a stone of health and passion and brings the courage to face unpleasant tasks and to rectify unjust situations. And finally, chalcedony is also in this particular crystal. Chalcedony is a nurturing stone that promotes brotherhood and goodwill. It absorbs negative energy. It brings the mind, body, emotions, and spirit into harmony. Chalcedony instills feelings of benevolence and generosity. Well, that all sounds like good stuff. So, you're going to experience the energy of this crystal for yourself in just a moment.
That crystal is love.
If you would like to participate in the energy healing, I suggest you make yourself comfortable and relax. Cats doing things in the room that you can't see them doing. But it's funny. Relax and put yourself into a receptive space. We do have a question from MA Winner. Morning, are we doing intentions today? I did them at the beginning of the video. You just happened to miss them. We are still doing an affirmation of the day after the healing, though. All right. Sweet. Just a sip of coffee, and we'll get onto the healing. That's really good. Center your attention into yourself and remember to just breathe. You may sense some changes in your energy, or you may not feel anything. Either is perfectly fine. In my mind, I see the energy of this crystal moving towards you like a very thick steam, and it's gently filling your energy, looking for spaces where you don't feel safe, you don't feel loved, and filling those spaces. Allow yourself to relax and to take it in. yourself really breathe. I sense it would be possible that some of you feel sleepy. Allow yourself to rest in that if you have nowhere to be this morning. Feel like there needs to be a focus on the back of the head and back of the neck. We can have a way of pushing a lot of things to the back of our mind. A lot of worries, memories, fears, anything else that maybe we don't want to look at or acknowledge, anything else that might not feel safe. Allow this to ease whatever sits back there. Draw this thing to a close. So please take a few moments to sit in the energy you've received. It is heavy.
So we are very busy on the watch party today.
Yes?
And we had a question.
Well, let's answer this question.
So Ray Miller would like to know what you did to your finger.
Oh. I actually don't know. While I was cooking, I cut it somehow, even though, as far as I could tell, it didn't come into contact with the knife or the can I was opening. I try not to open the cans with my fingers. I pry them open with spoons. I really don't know what I did. But it should be better soon. I've been taking care of it. Thanks for asking. So, with the healing, something came to mind that I wanted to mention. Just trying to remember what that was. Oh, I remember. I do a lot of healings, And I do a crystal healing for every morning metaphysical report. So, and I know some of you watch the report every morning, so you get that healing every day. This is a tip to have that healing go further with you, to get more from it, to carry it further. Healings, typically, it's not always, they're, especially these crystal healings in particular, they're just kind of like doing a gentle sweep or relief. They're not pulling out the core issues or emotions in your body that are causing the negative energy manifestations that the healings kind of dissolve so you feel better temporarily. If you really want to experience a lasting result or improvement, it's important to address those deeper things. The healings make it easier. Let's say addressing this issue is like walking up a steep hill. All the negative energy you're carrying is like walking up the hill with an enormous boulder in your arms. A healing is like taking the boulder out of your arms. Obviously, you still have to walk up the hill, but it's a lot easier. So, that's just an FYI or a tip. That's not to say that healings can't address the core issues. They definitely can. Sometimes it will go deeper. It's just a tip for you to get more out of the experience. Yes. Thank you, Kitchen Witch. MA, I would suggest that. I'm not sure what it is you are wanting during the report with that. Welcome, people who are joining us. Alright, so that being said, and that we've had a moment to kind of sit in this energy, it's time for our affirmation of the day.
Fantastic. We've got a good one today.
Ooh, I don't know what it is.
The affirmation of the day is about forgiveness.
Wow. Forgiveness is very important, but I feel like it is still a misunderstood subject, even though it is being clarified, I believe. Forgiveness is a gift to yourself, please remember. It is to set yourself free. It is not, it is an act of self-love. You may be angry about something that someone did to you, but somehow it's even worse that you continue to suffer from what they did by holding on to it so tightly. Now, this is completely an understandable thing to do. I've been a very angry person. But it is truly a gift to give to yourself when it is the right time for you to find that. And of course, the most important person to forgive is yourself. So I'm going to say this affirmation to you the first few times so you can focus on the words and hearing them, and then we'll say it together. I give myself the gift of forgiveness, and we both are free. I give myself the gift of forgiveness, and we both are free. Now it's too late, she's over here.
Just trying to help people heal.
You give yourself the gift of forgiveness, and we both are free. You give yourself the gift of forgiveness, and we both are free. Now let's say it together a few times. 3 times. I give myself the gift of forgiveness, and we both are free. I give myself the gift of forgiveness, and we both are free. I give myself the gift of forgiveness, and we both are free. Let's sit with those words for a moment. Exhale. I invite you to take this affirmation with you for as long as you want to say it. This affirmation comes from Heal Your Body by Louise Hay. It is one of the many spine affirmations. And the spine relates to how we feel supported in life or don't. So I felt that it would be good issues for all of us to work on. We're on my face, so I'll be brushing it away for a little bit. And that concludes the affirmation. And here she is again. This is my cat, Areshka doll. Oh, hi, sweetheart.
She was the healer in the family. She's also
Do you want to come here? She hugs.
She's very much a healer. She
Say hello to everyone. Do you want to send them some healing? Some cat vibes.
every single morning when we're doing the report, she's in the room, even if you guys can't see her. She likes being here for all of you.
So next is our card reading of the day. I'm going to be doing a reading for all of you, giving you guidance and insight into the day ahead.
Getting a lot of love for Resh over here.
All the people love you. That's because you're a cat. You are a god.
She's the most beautiful cat too.
Hi. Alright, so what deck shall I use today?
Today's another psychic day, I think.
I think so. Everyone's saying hello to you. So we're going to do a card reading. See? Yeah.
Everyone's saying
Hello.
today.
Alright, there she goes. Oh. I really like having her with me.
Yes, you know how she doesn't like to choose between us. She has to go back and forth.
Today's reading comes from the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. You may find that some of the reading resonates with you, or all of it does. Either is fine. Just before we do that, I'd like to send you a little more energy. Is this temple?
It is.
So, hold on. Hey, sweetie. Come here. Come here. Okay, you sit there. Let me do this. So this is India Temple incense, and I'm going to wrap it around your energy as a blessing before we move on with the reading. It's my favorite incense. It's very nice. So we are going to do reading it just up. There you go. Now that I've been freed, we have one card. Let's see if we have more to say. let's start with that. So you guys got 3 cards today. And the first card is the main point they want to express today. The second 2 cards are kind of like an elaboration or an aside. I like to actually read the book description because I like how it's worded, but I will also offer my own interpretation afterwards. Hey, love. You can say no, but would you please warm up my coffee?
Of course.
Room temperature. I'm sorry. Alright, the first card is Harmony. This card signifies the possibility that a deep spiritual initiation, partnership, or union is taking place at this time or is manifesting for the future. This doesn't always represent a love affair of the heart, but could signify other forms of relationships in your life, whether they're personal or business related. Remember, not all partnerships have to be one-to-one. They can be forged with a group, an organization, a pet, or even an incident or situation. The Harmony card is calling to let you know that it's time for you to make choices in certain relationships. The bonds you form with others are really about you, even in the most difficult situations. They're meant to be mirrors for you to see, always reflecting back what you need to see. Ask yourself, what am I learning from this relationship? What new qualities am I developing? Is this partnership for my highest good? How can I make it stronger? Are we teaching each other? Thank you. What have I discovered or am still uncovering about myself through this union? Are the people in my life empowering and encouraging me to be all that I can? Within every relationship, there's an encoded lesson that you're hopefully gleaned or in some cases one that you still need to learn. And with these questions, they're not always positive answers. They're just meant to be illuminating ones. Could be learning negative things or developing negative new qualities. And that is important information as well. Now the next 2 cards came out together and they're kind of like a nuance or a side to the main card. So the next card is Power. As a spiritual being, you have unlimited power at your command. This card represents inner strength, willpower, courage, compassion, generosity, and love. At any moment, these beautiful qualities can assist you in coping with an adverse condition in front of you or the many surrounding your life. Set aside the necessary time to resolve such issues. Power represents more than physical external strength. It can also be channeled emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. When you have balance over body, mind, and soul, and with the power of spirit, anything can be overcome to achieve a positive result. Power and strength can be developed to work in harmony in any given situation. Every obstacle, every error helps build your knowledge and understanding of the world around you. When you make a mistake, there's a chance for you to stop, listen, and ask yourself, what am I supposed to be learning here, and how can I make this situation better? Mistakes are great wake-up calls in that they provide you with opportunities to discover your weaknesses, what needs to be changed, and which areas of your life need improving. Equally, they can be blessings in disguise. Just remember, you are power. Spiritual strength. Finally, this card is coming forth to give encouragement and remind you that you have the inner strength to complete whatever you've been working on. This final spirit card represents courage, discipline, stability, and persistence. You may be tired or weary from the struggle, but now is not the time to give in. Instead, tap into all of your inner reserves for that one final push to achieve the desired outcome. You've been through so much to get to this point, and even though you may have acquired some scars from the battle, you're wiser and stronger for it. The enlightenment you've gained will be an invaluable resource. You may also notice that you're experimenting with different things in your life at this time. All of these experiences feed your spirit and offer you knowledge for the future. I'm going to take a moment to contemplate these. In addition, I think that I'm getting an impression. I don't know who it's from. It could be just one person watching or several. But along with all this, I feel as though part of the struggle, or what's in the way, is a sense of inflexibility, stubbornness, and that those things could be coming from a place of fear and not just being stubborn, and that there is a issue with speaking what it is you really feel. I'm not exactly sure in what way. Some kind of thing about the way you express yourself. Speaking things that aren't true, or just not being able to articulate what it is you really feel. And it's not like the usual kind of lies. It's like lies about yourself, not only to yourself, but to everyone, and about what you really feel or think. So those are just some additional impressions. So, I'm going to see if the cards have anything else to say, but otherwise that is the card reading for today. Alright, one last card. Rest and rejuvenate. This card implies that a period of rest, meditation, rejuvenation, and recuperation is in order. It usually comes forward when you're encountering or coming out of a particularly emotional or mentally taxing experience. The number 4 in numerology means foundation. So this is a time to heal, to be with your soul, and to continue moving steadily forward. Allowing space just for your reflection is both needed and long overdue. Reposing and taking moments for yourself will give you the opportunity to look at a problem or situation instead of being in it. It's a chance to stand back, view your life with clarity and renewed appreciation, and see where changes can be made to create a healthier and stronger foundation, enabling you to take your next step. And I think getting in touch with what your inner truth actually is and how you're really feeling, so that you can speak truthfully and feel safe enough to be flexible and go forward. So that's it.
Well said, my love.
How's it going?
Very well. Getting a lot of gratitude for the reading.
Well, you are all most welcome. Looks like I have a comment over here. Sumera shares, she needs sleep. She hasn't slept for many years. I have this issue. I'm sorry to hear about that. Do invite you to bring this to my inbox for further advice. But usually there is a reason, and I will quickly look it up and heal your body. Insomnia. Speaking of fear, insomnia comes from fear, not trusting the process of life, guilt. That may or may not be true for you. I encourage you to take that time to reflect. As the card was saying, to get in touch with what it is that's really going on inside of you. There is an affirmation which I will share briefly for insomnia, because I'm sure you're not the only one who has issues. I lovingly release the day and slip into peaceful sleep, knowing tomorrow will take care of itself. That comes from Heal Your Body. Which brings us to the reading for today. The Power is Within You, also by Louise Hay. Ooh, kitties. They are both under my chair. Hi. You okay? Oh. It's okay. Why are we hiding?
Ray Miller would like to know if this affirmation will also help when you wake up at the wee hours on and off.
I think so. It's something I used to have to repeat before going to bed. Something like, I release the day, or I let go of everything. I am safe. I'll say it one more time.
I did type it out.
Okay, great. Yes, I think so. Especially if you know for yourself that is kind of the issue behind it, like worry and fear, not being able to really allow yourself to rest.
We also recommend
Which one is this?
well, that one's the Sesame Jasper, but I was going to say the other thing that the two of us do to help with sleep problems is we'll do affirmations on
Prayer beads. This is a mala, but any kind of a prayer bead is good. Like rosaries or anything. It could be a long one or a short one. I repeat the affirmation one for each bead and kind of roll them between my fingers and make a round. I usually never make it before I fall asleep.
Yeah, it's kind of like counting sheep. You end up passed out with it in your hand. If people want to contact you, you do offer these and help them
Yes.
build one of their own if they would like.
My fiance does make mala.
So if you need
beads.
some advice on how to get one or how to make one, you can feel free to contact us. It's a great tool.
Is. So in this book, we have been reading through Understanding the Blocks That Bind You. So we are going to read a brief section from this book. And part of this reading is giving us some food for thought to ruminate over throughout the day. And all to kind of encourage us to heal ourselves. And when we do that, it encourages our ability to create a life we want for ourselves. Because I'm definitely about manifesting, whether you use magic or law of attraction or anything else. Guilt makes us feel inferior. Many times, people give you negative messages because it is the easiest way to manipulate you, unfortunately. If someone is trying to make you feel guilty, ask yourself, what do they want? Why are they doing this? Ask these questions instead of inwardly agreeing, yes, I'm guilty, I must do what they say. Many parents sometimes manipulate their children with guilt because they were raised the same way. They tell lies to their children, sometimes not knowing it, to make them feel less than. Some people are still manipulated by their relatives and friends when they grow up because, first of all, they don't respect themselves. Otherwise, they wouldn't let it happen. Secondly, they are manipulative themselves. Many of you live under a cloud of guilt. You always feel wrong, or that you are not doing the right thing, or apologizing to someone for something. You will not forgive yourself for something you did in the past. You berate yourself for a lot that goes on in your life. Let the cloud dissipate. You don't need to live that way any longer. Those of you who feel guilty can now learn to say no and call people on their nonsense. I'm not saying to be angry with them, but you don't have to play their game anymore. If saying no is new to you, say it very simply. No, I cannot do that. Don't give excuses, or the manipulator will have ammunition to talk you out of your decision. When people see that manipulating you doesn't work, they will stop. People will only control you as long as you allow them to. You may feel guilty the first few times you say no. However, it gets easier the next few times. This is kind of an important thing, and I don't feel like it's necessary to feel bad if this describes you. It's just kind of like a common way to be, and that we're taught to be. But it is important to know that it doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to feel guilty just because someone tells you something about yourself. And sometimes it is a way for people to get what they want, and it's just what we've learned. But it can be it's immensely relieving to not engage with that anymore, or not be controlled by it anymore. Because then you can really make decisions about how it is you want to respond and how you want to be, rather than just kind of reacting to someone's request or to a guilt trip from yourself or another person. Honestly, the mind is just a lot quieter, and one feels a lot calmer, and there's a lot more energy for other things in your life when you slowly learn that different way. And it doesn't all happen at once. I'm seeing what's ahead of us. So, the next section. When, if you do something you are sorry about, stop doing it. At least try to. Usually, it takes a few times. If you did something in the past that you still feel guilty about, forgive yourself. If you can make amends, and it's appropriate to do so, do it, and try not to repeat the action again. Every time guilt comes up in your life, ask yourself, what do I still believe about myself? Who am I trying to please? Notice the childhood beliefs that come up. I find that guilt doesn't really solve the issue that was created. So although it's a totally understandable emotion, it's not necessary to feel it forever. When someone comes to me who is accident prone, there is usually guilt on a deep-seated level and a need for punishment. There can also be a lot of repressed hostility because we feel we don't have the right to speak up for ourselves. Guilt seeks punishment, so we can literally become our own judge, jury, and executioner, condemning ourselves to a self-imposed prison. We punish ourselves, and there's no one around to come to our defense. It's time to forgive ourselves and set ourselves free. One elderly lady at one of my seminars felt enormous guilt about her middle-aged son. He was an only child who grew up to be a very withdrawn person. She felt guilty because she was very strict with him while he was growing up. I explained that she had done the best she knew how to at the time. I told her that it wasn't the most helpful thing to expend all her energy feeling guilty about something she couldn't change. She sighed. It's such a shame that he's this way, and I'm sorry I did a bad job. You see, the reason it's wasted energy because it doesn't help her son now, and it definitely doesn't help her. Guilt becomes a very heavy burden and makes people feel inferior. Instead, I told her that every time the feeling came up, she could say something like, "No, I don't want to feel that anymore. I'm willing to learn myself. I accept my son exactly as he is." If she continued to do this, the pattern would start to shift. Even if we don't know how to love ourselves, the fact that we are willing to love ourselves will create the difference. It's just not worth it to hold on to these patterns. The lesson is always to love yourself. Her lesson was not to heal her son, but to love herself. He came into this life to love himself. She can't do it for him, and he can't do it for her. Also, if she all the energy she would expend on feeling guilty, she could just spend being there for him in a new way now. We are almost at the end of the chapter, but I've been reading for a while, so how are we doing over there?
Good.
It's like just this one page. It'd be kind of silly to save it for tomorrow, so just a little bit more, and then we are all done with this chapter. Organized religions are often really good at making people feel guilty. Many of them do some heavy numbers to keep heavy people in line, especially when they were young. However, we aren't little children anymore, and we don't have to be kept in line. We are adults who can decide what we want to believe. The child in us feels the guilt, but there's also the adult who can teach the child otherwise. When you hold your emotions down or hold things in, you create havoc within you. Love yourself enough to allow yourself to feel your emotions. Allow your feelings to come to the surface. You may find yourself crying for days or getting angry a lot. You may have to process quite a bit of old stuff. I suggest you do affirmations that make going through the process easier, smoother, and more comfortable. Such as, I now release with ease all old negative beliefs. It's comfortable for me to change. My pathway is now smooth. I am free of the past. Don't also add judgment to your feelings. That only pushes the feelings down even more. If you are going through incredible dilemmas or crises, affirm that you are safe and that you are willing to feel. Affirming these positive feelings will bring about beneficial changes. That concludes that chapter. So we will continue reading through this book tomorrow. The next chapter is letting your feelings out. Such fun. So that is just some food for thought for today. It can be very interesting to reflect on our feelings and beliefs and to notice the way that they hold us back or the effects they have on our lives. That concludes the reading for today, but I will continue with a few thoughts of my own. An exercise I have found super useful is to reflect back when you were a child or adolescent and to think about things that you learned or were taught, messages you received from the adults around you. So not just your parents or family, just the adults around you, and think about various areas of your lives. I'd say focus on the areas that you have the most issues in. It could be health, relationships, money, career, education, etc. Anything. So think about those areas and think back about what you were taught or what you learned from the adults around you. What did the adults believe about those certain subjects? What examples were provided for you? Like relationships. What kind of relationships did you observe back then? About yourself. What did the adults teach you about your body? What lessons did they teach you about you? Who you are? You can just think about it or write those things down and then think about if those are things you believe now. And the important thing is to realize that maybe the beliefs you carry or the way you think about things, and especially about yourself, maybe they didn't even come from you. They're just things you've taken from other people. And this gives you the opportunity to let them go when you realize that you've just internalized stuff other people told you. And that can be very powerful. So I hope you'll take a moment to think about that. We are going to be drawing the Morning Metaphysical Report to a close very soon. I would like to take a moment to tell you about a few things.
Oh, here we go.
If you enjoyed this Morning Metaphysical Report, please like, follow, or subscribe to my page or channel, depending on where you're watching this, so that you can continue seeing the morning report each morning. If you look at the description of this video, you will find multiple links. One of them is the link to my Facebook page, which is also on screen. If you like and follow my page, not only will you see the morning report each morning, but you will see all of my other content as well, which includes moon rituals, a discussion of different metaphysical topics, readings, crystal healings, and more. All of this stuff is also being added to my YouTube. My YouTube is a little harder to find. Just search Lysander Xanthus, and you should see, if you don't see morning report videos on it, it's the wrong channel. So, so you can follow me there as well. In the description is also the link to my Patreon, and that the name of the Patreon is also on screen. If you would like to learn more about me, my partner, the Kitchen Witch, and more about what's behind the morning report, please visit that link. You'll read a little bit about us. There is content there as well. Some of it is public, some of it is not. Our goals, what we're trying to work towards, and how you can support us, i.e. monthly subscriptions. But you receive rewards, extra rewards for joining.
Yeah. The thing to remember about the morning report is that it is something that we're trying to build as a community of practitioners, and we're hoping that someday it'll include segments of the kitchen in the kitchen witch kind of
Yes,
thing,
cooking with
and
intention and magic, a kitchen witch segment and a workout segment.
from the Dragon Master, who you guys haven't gotten to see yet, but he is going to be a part of our community over the
Yeah.
next few months.
So it'll be a health, wellness, and exercise segment by someone who is very in touch with draconic energy and dragon-based spirituality. You may not know what that is, but once he's here, he will explain it all. So that's just something to look forward to.
Also, if you head on over to Patreon, a poll was posted this morning about the Metaphysical Report. We're looking for everyone's thoughts on what we're doing, what we can add, and maybe what we don't need anymore, so that we can work towards improving what we do every day.
Yes.
So even if you're not interested in becoming a patron, head over to our Patreon and vote on what things you would like to see happen with
Yes.
our morning report.
You can create a free Patreon account and follow our page. You just won't be able to access member content, but there is some public content like the poll we just posted. I don't believe it's necessary to have an account to vote. Maybe it is. I don't know. So members who make monthly pledges, and it can be as low as $1. There's a $1 a month tier. You get various rewards in return for your support. 'Cause we're doing this together, and we want to share content with you that will assist you in your journey of growth. And the free content, like the Morning Metaphysical Report and all the other things I do on my Facebook and YouTube, are possible because of support from viewers like yourself. This is how we make our living. So your support allows us to invest our time in this way to give you more. Some of the rewards include access to a private Facebook learning community where I'm teaching private courses on creating a foundation for yourself on which to build psychic skills or to pursue magic or other spiritual paths from a good place. I will also be teaching how to manage psychic skills and about magic. Eventually, I'm writing the course as we go. So there's that, and there is also a community where you can interact with each other. And I also offer there are other special things that I put there just for the members of that group to enjoy, like discounts on products, not even my products, like other things. Private exclusive content, including how to read tarot tutorials, paranormal investigation footage. You didn't know that I do that, but that's because you can only watch it on Patreon.
We have fun. We talk to dead things.
Yes.
I say dead things because it's not always me. I talk to a dead dog. It's very interesting.
The other rewards, at a certain level, you do get free private readings with me at different lengths and intervals. So it could be like a brief reading once a month, or up to like 1 hour readings once a week with me, including a monthly psychic forecast. But that's like the highest level. So it goes from $1 a month to $500 a month, and everything in between. So if you would like to make a one-time contribution, you can do so through the PayPal link in the description of this video. Everything's appreciated. The subscription will be more fun for you, though.
Let's see.
I think
that's it.
Oh, one more thing. I have released my first webinar called Manifest Your Best Life. The first part is free for now, but the second and third part are for patrons only, and you can find that webinar to watch it on Patreon. You would have to search my page, but the first part is on Facebook as well. So I recommend Patreon so it'll be a bit easier to find it. It also includes a workbook which will be available for patrons only in a week or two. Yes. And there's a lot more to come. A lot more.
Yeah.
I think that's everything.
Yeah, let's give a moment for people to ask questions.
Yes, if anyone has comments or questions about anything that has come up during the entire report or just something on your mind, you're welcome to ask. Otherwise, my inbox is also always open. Facebook and Patreon are the best ways to get a hold of me. And I get to everyone within a day or less.
Waiting to see if we're going to get this question or not.
That's okay. There's a bit of a lag, about a 20 to 30 second lag between when I say something and when you hear it, so we will. In my comments, I have a comment from N.A. Wenner, healing for physical pain. Is this a suggestion for a topic or like a question? How would I answer?
What are we doing?
I have a comment that says healing for physical pain.
That is something that I will be covering sometime next year. One of the problems is the Kitchen Witch doesn't have a functional kitchen.
Yeah. Yes. On Patreon, it is one of our goals once we hit a certain level of pledges for the month. We have to buy kitchen equipment because we moved without anything, so we've been slowly repurchasing everything. So the Kitchen Witch needs kitchen equipment to do her segments again, and that includes herbology, using herbs to address physical as well as spiritual conditions. So there is that aspect. And I'm kind of thinking, I do energy healing,
Yeah.
but I don't like to advertise or promise physical effect, although people have experienced it.
The reason I brought it up is that I'm studied in magical and medicinal herbology and cooking and everything. And part of what I teach is actually medicinal cooking. So it is something that we're going to be touching on. I want to teach how to make salves and things that you can put on your aches and pains, certain foods that will help alleviate your aches and pains, and everyday meditations and such that will help as well. So that is something on the list of things.
It is content we do plan on producing, is her talking about those things. She goes on to say, pain often manifesting from traumas.
Yes.
That is a very good idea. I can do videos specifically addressing that. I find the mind-body connection very fascinating. And I think that would be a very good subject to cover because we all have something we're carrying in our bodies that, if we could move it along, would benefit us a lot, whether it's just psychologically or spiritually or even physically. Yeah.
So this is a comment from our other thing going on here.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah. It was easier for me to send it because I'm not very good at reading it.
Oh, okay. I understand.
Yeah. She's talking about
Okay,
like
so this comments from Comfort. I feel like a spiritual journey should be organized, like those in different countries can come along to learn more.
She's referring to like a pilgrimage or doing some kind of organized journey or something like that. I think that's something that we could definitely work towards.
It is a goal. I think I'll add that to the Patreon. It is definitely a high goal, but I will add that. It's a good idea. I would love to see people in person. I mean, if you're local, if you're willing to travel here, I will see you in person. I don't currently have the ability to travel myself. but that may change in the future. And having things like a retreat center would be fabulous. And my spiritual journey was organized in a way, maybe not. It didn't take place within the confines of like a current organization or religion. It was very individual, but I did have a teacher, and there's a very specific method of how I was taught, and it made an enormous difference in how far I've been able to progress in my abilities. So you bring up a very important point. It should be organized. Coaching and motivation helps so much. Pilgrimage sounds wonderful. Indeed.
Definitely.
I think there is... I definitely did not start this with the intention of being a teacher. I've always viewed myself as a fellow student, but I am recognizing the need, because there just isn't a lot of information out there, a lot of guidance. There's like all this information, but it's just chaos.
It's kind of like sticking your hand into a cookie jar without having any idea what the cookies are. There's a lot of really fantastic information, but you have no idea what you're going to pull out, and you have no idea whether or not you're going to like it or it's going to work for you. You might be digging in there hoping to get a gingerbread cookie, you pull out an oatmeal cookie, and you're like, why? That was a crazy analogy, I'm sorry.
Well, thank you, Comfort. This is a very useful and good thought.
Yeah, that seems to be everything on my end at the moment.
Just thinking. Yeah. No, these are good thoughts. So I encourage MA Winner, Comfort, and all the rest of you to go to Patreon to fill out that poll.
Yes, please. It is a public poll, so you should be able to put your ideas in.
Do you know if you have to have a Patreon account? It's free, by the way, to just have an account on Patreon, if that is the case.
I don't know.
It's just, that it just means like a few extra seconds of their time. That's all.
Right. It's just the best way to do a poll for us, because it kind of connects directly with our patrons and allows for people to check it out. So.
You know, even if you're not ready to make a pledge or you don't want to, I encourage you to create a free account and just follow our page. It would be awesome. Because some things are only shared there. Thank you, MA, for filling that out. I'm super fascinated and engaged with the things you guys have brought up, but I feel as though, if no one else has any more comments or questions, that we should draw this to a close. I will be back live in about 90 minutes to 2 hours.
What are we doing today? What kind of stream are you going to do today?
I don't know what I'm doing today.
Some kind of reading stream.
So, readings or something else. You should like and follow my page on Facebook, because then you will find out what. So you'll get notified every time I go live. I think that's it. Yeah?
Yeah, looks like it.
I would like to thank everyone for watching and for your comments and feedback. Or even if you're just watching, I do appreciate you. And thank you to everyone who is currently following or who chooses to follow. And a huge thank you to everyone who contributes and who joins us on Patreon. Again, all this happens because of your support. And I love doing this. I'm very blessed to be able to do this for a living and not have my time and energy taken up by another means of income, so I can invest my experience and what I have to offer into providing a resource for anyone who wants to use it, of proceeding on your own path. So, have a wonderful day, and I will see you all again later. Be blessed.